as a preface to all of this, no one in my family has done music like professionally or really even as a hobby. Other than, everyone's kind of sang in church and everyone's kind of sang in some type of choir, I think, at some point in their life, um, whether you wanted to or not. But the fact that like that was never seen as a career to anyone or even thought of, the fact that I even loved theater so much, it wasn't encouraged. It was like, oh, that was cute when you were young. What are you going to do for a career? Like, what are you going to do with your life? And since a young age, I was always just infatuated with the fire department. There are pictures of me in my little tutu from coming out of dance class, and I wanted to go visit the fire department. My mom had a hair salon, so we had a lot of people that came through there to get their hair done. A few of them were firefighters. And so after the first time of visiting a fire department, I always would ask to go see Bob. And so I don't know, there's just something about it. And then the more I grew up and realized like what it takes to be in the fire service and what that means, and especially after 9/11, that changed everything for me. So taking music completely out of the equation, because I didn't even think that was an option. The best job in my heart and in my mind was being in the fire service, and went through my academy and got my EMT. And I had that all done by the time I was 19 years old because I was starting classes and was already a volunteer firefighter while I was still in high school. Once I finished that, I kind of veered because I had just been going to school my whole life. I'm 19 years old. I'm already done with my academy. I already have my EMT. And I was like, well, I could just keep going to school a little bit, but not full time, get all my general education done, maybe get my paramedic and go about it that way, and then look to get hired. I didn't want to go straight from like full time school to a full time blown out career. And in that time of going back to basically, I guess you could say, attempt to finish my degree is when I started working at a country bar in Sacramento called Stoney's. And they had just opened. I was the first bartender they hired. So in this process of them remodeling this place and opening up, we started having karaoke. There was like three people in the bar, and they asked, "Do you want to sing a song?" Now, I hadn't sang a note since high school, so here I am, 21 years old. I haven't sang anything since I was 17. I was like, "Oh, sure," and I sang, and they were like, what's that?" And I was like, "Well, oh, well," I like, "Well, I don't know really know what you're talking about." But anyways, and they're like, "Apparently you sing." And I was like, "Oh, I used to sing, when I was in high school, when I was a kid, I did church and choir and musical theater, and it was cute when I was young, and they were like, no, like you sing." Like, and that kind of became a thing. And that was like the start of the shift on that.
So I know you were given around that time the nickname the Singing Bartender. How'd you earn that nickname?
By singing and bartending at the same time. It started to get to the point where I would have the microphone in one hand as I'm singing and pouring drinks. And then from there, it turned into we finally opened up the back bar area, which has the big dance floor and the big stage. And I was starting to get called up by the bands to come sing a song. So I would step out from behind the bar, go and sing a song, come back, keep bartending. And I kind of just became the singing bartender, and all of a sudden, like, Yelp reviews are coming through, like, "The singing bartender, the singing bartender," and that was me, and I was like, "Apparently I'm a singing bartender now." It's like, "Wait, what?" And that led into me getting my first, offer to front a band, which I knew nothing about.
Yeah, and now that you mention that, I totally remember that happening. I remember nights that you'd be bartending and people would call you up on stage. I totally remember that
Yep.
now.
Yeah. Yeah, it was surreal.
So
I mean, I didn't know what I was doing. I mean, I got hired as a bartender 2 weeks after turning 21. I didn't know what I was doing with that either, but I learned it. Um, Michelle, my best friend Michelle, was the one that taught me how to bartend. But I went and did almost everything I've done. I went into it not knowing literally anything and just learning as I go through experience. I became a very successful bartender. I was very fast. My sales were always high. I did great with tips. I think being a people person helps with that because I genuinely like people. So, I mean, hospitality and entertainment is not for you if you don't like to be social and if you don't like people in general. Like there are other jobs out there, but I think firefighting goes on with that too. You're out there in people's scariest and worst moments most of the time. And you're supposed to be there helping them and keeping them calm and giving them comfort. And, being a volunteer firefighter, experience that. And that even though it's not what I ended up doing as a career, I would never take any of that back because those experiences have shaped me to be who I am today. Just like I wouldn't take back being picked on when I was young because I realize I know what that feels like. So through my whole life, I've never wanted to make someone feel that way. I always want to make people feel seen and accepted and appreciated in any way.